Yeah, it's me. Just joking. Hornet Evo build part 2. Already put the complete, hang on, we assembled the transmission in number 1. Everything's ready to go, including the special brackets on the back which adapted the DTO2 gearbox and suspension to the original Hornet chassis. I just checked before, and you can actually see, though I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see it on camera or not. It's got the 1984 stamp in there, so this is absolutely an OG Hornet chassis mold. And they've done clever things that let you put this gearbox onto it. Let's start building. Move that up here so you can see what I'm talking about. That's how it is. This, how does that work? That goes in there. Actually, I think it needs to go in like that. That's it. It's pretty simple. We've got an 3x15 screw, which I think will be that one. And I'm sure there's another one as well. No, that's 3x10. We need another 3x. This will be the one. This will be the one. And we get a washer on each. It goes through here. Bit more force than what I thought. We'll get that in there. It's kind of cool how they've come up with the way of adapting the DTO2 gearbox onto the original Hornet chassis. It's actually quite clever. We'll screw that through. And I can just feel it coming through now, so we've got an M3 nut to put on here. There we go. And of course, if you've got an M3 nut, you might as well use a TAMIYA box wrench to hold it. We were lucky this morning, had a few customers come in today who knew that we had this, so I was able to show it to them in its unfinished state. They were pretty chuffed to see one, and they're very keen for it to be available. Certainly there's a lot of anticipation for this car. I suppose there's Hornet people from years and years ago really keen to see a modern version of it. And that's what it is. Just screw this through and tighten it up. How's that? Hornet chassis. I haven't measured it, but I'm going to guess this is a slightly longer wheelbase than the original. It should be, because like everything's hanging right out the back. So there's only a couple of these two screws that hold it on. That just fits into the lower chassis. Now we have a big plate, which is this one, just to tie it all together. I'll use my 9 steps cutters here. This is a very flexible plastic, so it will take a bit more of a beating than something that was rigid. I'll put that up there, and that fits in there. And I'm guessing these are going to be 3, but no, not 3x10s. No, far from it. Indeed, these are 3x12 countersunk screws. Let's just find them. 1, 2, 3. That's not a 3x12. Oh, I should have done some knolling beforehand. Get them all set out. These are 3x10 countersunk, which go up here, so I'll just give them a little bit of a screw in, just to locate them for the moment. Come on. They're always, you always say, oh, they've missed these ones out, they're not there. Yes, they are. You just got to find them. In all my years of building a TAMIYA kit, I have never actually had a missing screw. I swore blind many times that there was stuff missing, but it was always there. Perhaps somewhere someone's got a TAMIYA kit with something missing, but I've never had one. I must have built at least 50 of them, probably more, and there's never been anything missing. I don't know what the production process is that controls it, but whatever it is, it works pretty well. Okay, rule 1, I shouldn't look at the camera when I'm screwing these in. Because your attention wanders and the screwdriver slips off. That bit's done. Oh, this is an iconic thing from all the 80s buggies, the side nerf bars. We seem to be convinced that you needed them back then. You didn't, of course, but we all thought we had to, just like the enormous great front bumper. That was just how things were done back then. And the side nerf bars are, oh, such a feature. In fact, we'll do that here. In fact, when we're talking side nerf bars, I'm going to refer to this little cartoony thing behind me here. I'll need to turn around that way, of a recent Yokomo buggy and a sort of a generic old buggy. And there are side nerf bars that I drew on that, because that to me epitomised a lot of the way that the cars were done back then. So it's cool to see them on this frog. Let's turn it over. Actually, while I'm here, I missed these. Dear. Not actually sure what they do. They don't hold anything together. Ah, yes they do. You need to put a bit of pressure on that to move the chassis forward. They're the lower fixing points. This is what happens when you do stuff on camera. Your attention is easily diverted from the matter at hand, and you can miss things. Because when you're doing this at home and you've got plenty of time, you can check everything and make sure it's all right. But here, I need to keep going, I need to keep talking, so mistakes are made. Sometimes you get to see them, and sometimes you don't, because we go back in and edit them out. I'm going to leave this one in. Hopefully Matt, our editor, won't take it out and go, oh, Tony got that wrong. No, it's all right. All right, that's good. That's much more solid mounting. Let's go back to here. And need to get the correct side. They are definitely handed. That fits in there, and there's a 3x12 screw that holds that. These are not a structural piece. They're there for a little bit of side protection, but mainly I think just to look cool. And hard for me to line up, come on. That's better. This is fairly soft plastic. You don't want to screw down on this one too hard. Now there's a little M3 lock nut in here. There it is. That goes in here. You need to make sure it's facing inwards to the inner part of the chassis. And that the M3 lock nut is held captive within the chassis, and then you just screw this into it. Doesn't hurt to put your finger over it to hold it while you're screwing it in. And this part is not actually fixed at all, it just sits there. That's okay. Now we'll do the other side. We need another M3 by 12. That's not an M3, that's an M2.6. Now, the hard part for all you people who are watching this video is probably you're watching it well before you can actually get hold of one of these. we were lucky enough to be able to get one early. So we're good. I think that's an M3x15 because that's going in a little bit too far. Just remember, this is a TAMIYA kit, so there's a handy little thing, and that is an M3x15. That's an M3x12. TAMIYA kit, you've got your handy guide over on the side so you can check. Anyway, as I was saying, as I'm filming this, it's early mid-December. Not sure when you'll be seeing it, probably a few weeks away. And I believe the first Australian kits are due here the end of December. However, they'll be stuck in the warehouse for quite a while, so you probably won't see them out at the shops until early January. I know we've got a lot of pre-orders for them, which is cool, because the original date was November from memory, but that didn't happen. There's certainly a lot of anticipation for this car. Which is why we bit the bullet, and with some of our Japanese contacts, we were able to get hold of one. So we're bringing it to you first. Anyone desperate to see it, we'll probably have it out in the display case for people to look at. Even though strictly speaking it's my car, I'll probably leave it in here. Front upper mount is next, which is on, I'm not sure what part street. Not that one. That looks like it. It's one of the trees I haven't opened yet. I mean, I could look it up and say, oh, it's on part street number such and such, but I just tend to look for what, until I can see something that looks like it. Okay, now this needs a couple of ball studs. That would be that one and that one. I was going to use this, but it's not. That's not going to work. To me, a wrench will work better because it doesn't let the ball go down quite so far. Thus far, we've been spared an interruption from Brett. I'm sure he's probably waiting outside. He's going to rush in and make his presence very well known. Hopefully he comes in around the time I'm building the shocks so he can do them, or at least do part of them, because it's going to take a little bit of time and that's a bit boring for you people at home. Okay, that goes like that. So we've got that M3x15 that I used before incorrectly can now go in here. And that screws into, we need this bit, which is here. Same parts tree as the front upper mount came off. So we'll put that inside the box wrench to hold it. Now you probably won't be able to see this, but we'll see what we can do. Screw that on. This is obviously the front body mount. Sometimes it's just awkward. There's no way of holding something. Got it now. Tighten that up. Because it's a front body mount, I'll need it lined up either this way or that way, but I can do that later. So that's on, that's on, that's on. Now, next, front damper guards. It's a strange name, but I know what they mean. So we'll cut those off. These are handed, which means there's a different one for each side. So this is the left-hand side one. Now there's these little U brackets. I saw these. Yes. I didn't know what these were. I don't know if these were on the original Hornet or not. Nice little pressed metal brackets. And that goes up under there. We need a 3x12 screw. I reckon that's a 15. That's a 12, and that's a 12. So let's poke that through. Sorry, sometimes I forget that I need to make it visible for you people up there. And I do it close back to my chest, which is the way that I would normally build. So I think this is going to be a little bit fiddly, but we should be okay. There we go. Now, you need to make sure you get the correct orientation of this, so it needs to be this way. Now we'll do the other one. This is a relatively easy car to build. I think I said in episode 1 I've never actually built a Hornet, I've never even driven one. Which is a bit sad, I suppose. I really should have. But I will be driving this one. Hopefully I can get it painted relatively quickly, even though what I'm planning is a little bit complex. So we can take it out and get some video. Okay, that's good. Now the next step is the servo horn. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to cover the electronics and stuff in a later part of the build. I'm just going to get the rolling chassis happening now. So we've got the servo and the speed controller and everything. Not going to put that in yet. We'll go to that later. So let's go a few steps up. The rear body mount, which looks like this. And in case you're wondering, I'm sure some of you are, you're thinking, does that old fat guy get paid to do that? Sit there and talk crap and build a car? And the answer is yeah. just quietly, there's a lot worse jobs than this. I get paid to do what I'd normally do at home for nothing. But in doing so, I get to bring stuff to you people. Hopefully you enjoy it. We don't take it too seriously. Certainly Brett and I, when we do builds together, just like to have fun. Because that's what RC is about. Having fun with toy cars. Come on, where's that other screw? I know you're actually here, you're just hiding from me. See, don't feel so bad when you, oh, I can never find the screws. Yeah, neither can we. I might call myself a professional, but in that respect, I'm the same as everyone else. And I can only find one of these right now. Doesn't matter, I can access this once the car's built anyway, so I'm just going to put this one in. And then when I finish the build, in theory, that screw that I can't find right now should be sitting there, waiting for me. Okay, and these are the body posts. I'm just going to put them on the outermost at the moment and move them and change them if necessary later. Look at this, this is starting to look like a serious car. Okay. Yeah, I'm just having a last look for that screw I couldn't find a minute ago, assuming that it would appear at some stage. No, I can't see it. All right, I'll concede defeat for the moment. We've got the rods anyway. So we're on, what? Probably onto a different bag by now. That's what I should have looked at before I just jumped ahead several stages. Bag A. I'm a little bit confused here. A is steps 1 to 16. In case you're wondering, that's how you can tell. Step A, bag A, steps 1 to 16. There's 11, here's 16. Sorry for coughing all over you. Step B is 17 to 28. Well, we're at 22. So I should have most of that here. And there's one of these, there's two of these. So these, I can't believe we've got turnbuckles on a Hornet. It's just, these are MB13s, adjusters, that's those. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. We'll get out my JPRC pliers. Where are they? Over here. We've got, oh, quite a distance. You can just have a quick, man, oh, how good is that? I've pretty much nailed it. These are much easier to put on than the rod ends on most of the race kits. They're a bit stiffer, and I will usually lubricate them before I attempt to screw them on. That's pretty damn close. I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave it. Normally putting turnbuckle ball ends on makes me swear a lot. But I can't swear a lot because I'm cognizant of the fact that there's probably kids watching this one. So Uncle TFG is going to be a good boy this time and not swear too much. Let's just put this on. You can, as you've seen me do, you can measure it up against there, but you don't need to get this perfect straight off. They are readily adjustable, so you can always move them later, as long as you get them in the ballpark. And geez, they're pretty good, especially for me. Now, moving on to the next part, we need more of the MB13 ball cups, but I've noted that you actually need to trim them. So right, see here, they want 2 millimeters off the end. So we need to chop a couple of mil off here. Now, I'm thinking these might do the job. Oh, do they what? The 9 steps cutters, magnificent. That's one of the easiest trimming jobs I've ever done. It is worth people getting quality tools. I mean, that was a really nice cut. I'm extremely happy with that. Okay, now these are this MB12. We'll just this screws into there. It's a little bit harder to hold. I'm going to use my big ass needle nose pliers to do this. And now screw this on. Now this one wants an overall dimension of 35 mil. Now because it's not a turnbuckle, it's a bit harder to adjust later. That's come up short, so I just need to come out a little bit. The turnbuckle, you can easily adjust it, but because it's not, I'll try and get it bang on right now. I reckon one more turn. People that know me are thinking, gee, TFG being accurate doesn't happen. It does in this case. Okay, so we've got that. Can I make the steering? There are steering bell cranks on a Hornet. Something else I've never seen before. We'll cut these off. And there's a steering rack. Once again, I'm just vaguely looking at what might be the right thing, and it's this one. Bang, and we're good. Now, I need some ball studs. And one of these is these two are smaller than that one. Just like quick visual. That one's definitely smaller. And that, just line those up, that's all good. Five mil, 5 mil, 5 mil. Let's take these out. TAMIYA box wrench. That turns over. You gotta be careful to make sure you get this thing in the right direction. This is the right direction. Plastic's relatively soft, so it's pretty easy to get this in. Oh, look here. Ball raced. Not only is it a steering rack, it's ball raced. I don't think the original Hornet designers could ever have believed that the Hornet would go in this direction. I think we were all pretty surprised when it did too. Okay, now this is a bit too small. Now you put it in the ball wrench, disappears. But there's a way around that, because in this particular one has got a hex drive in the end. So we just get out. Where's the 2 mil? There it is. So that's how you get that one in. Okay, so we've got everything from this side of things, and these are 730 ball bearings, really little ones. Now, some in the 1, 2, 3, 4 into the steering arms. Okay, so that's good, that's good, that's good. Now, 3x8 countersunk. Which I'm going to declare to be these. I'm going to check just to make sure. Yep. Thanks to Damien Dixon for loaning me his TAMIYA screwdriver. He doesn't know I've got it, but that's okay. If any of you have seen Damo's frog, this is the one we used to build that. Okay. Going to mention again here while I'm talking screwdrivers, this is a JIS, Japan Industry Standard screwdriver. It's different to a Phillips head, and this is the genuine TAMIYA one. You can get yourself one of those, no problem. So we need where's my big pointy nose pliers? Actually, I'm not going to use it. This is where you need 3 hands. See, right when I need Brett, he's not here. I chose the wrong tool. Now, there's just so many little bits and pieces all over the place here. Just lining them all up. I need another 10 hands. There we go. So while you're sitting at home laughing at me, but when your time comes, you'll have the same trouble. We've got all that there. We need this snapped onto there. This one I think I'll do like that. So a quick reference check. What I've got here is what I've got here. So that's good. Front lower arms. Gee, normally by now a Hornet kit I'd have this done. But this one's got more to do. Let me see, we're at the 45-minute mark. I honestly thought, okay, let's orient that. Now, the front arms are in this box somewhere. They are. Look at that, gull wing arms. I mean, that's what you have on your proper two-wheel drive competition buggy. Certainly the Yokomo SOs, B7s, Losies, they've all got gull arms, and now we've got them on the Hornet. Have a sneaking suspicion it's not going to go quite as well as those cars do, but doesn't matter, it's the real deal. So these are handed. Now you need to make sure you get them right. It's if you find you put it together and they're really tight, you can always just file it a little bit just to make it loose. At the moment that's probably a little bit too tight, but it may well loosen up. So I'm just going to leave it as it is for now and continue with the build. I can always go back and sort that out later. These push through, love these. Needed a bit of force on this. Okay, that's good. Now, MB, I've got these little, they look like tubes. In fact, they look like those tubes. Yep, machine screws, so that's good. These look like something I should put some strawberry jam on. You remember TAMIYA strawberry jam? Don't eat it. Don't ask me how I know that, but trust me, don't eat it. You know I wouldn't lie to you about something like that. We need a 3x8 machine screw. It looks like a button head one. It looks like those ones. So, where's my strawberry jam knife? If you go into shop to get this, don't ask for strawberry jam, alright? That's just what I call it. It's not its real name. It's really, forgotten now, anaerobic something, or yeah, I don't remember the actual name. It says on here, AG anaerobic gel. Alright. We all just call it strawberry jam because that's what it looks like. Okay. Put that through there. It's a medium strength thread lock, so it'll hold, but doesn't require the strength of Hercules to undo it later. Okay, so we've got that done. Time for the marriage. All this bit to the chassis, this all goes together at once. We've got the steering and the suspension all going in. Now I need to turn this like that. Actually, it needs to go like that. That's correct. It can be a little confusing. Now, this references the attachment of this ball end to a little stud on there. A stud which I don't see. That looks like something that I should, that's what that is in fact the servo saver hanging down through the chassis. Now I haven't put that on, so that's gonna, because I haven't put the servo in. I'm gonna leave that. We don't need that for now. So when I put the servo in, I'm going to have to pull all this out. So there's a lesson. Get all your electronics ready beforehand. Okay, that all fits in there. We need some 3x10s, the ubiquitous 3x10. One there, one there. Where's Damo's screwdriver? And another one up here. This requires a little bit of force to hold down to get it to stay in position. Right about now I'm wishing, oh damn, I wish I had my electric screwdriver here with a TAMIYA JIS screw end in it. I'm not sure such a thing actually exists. You're probably looking at it going, gee, his face is all red. Well, this is a lot of work for an old guy like me. Done. Okay. I've got all that in. Swing that around so it's hanging in there. So that's nice and free, so that's good. Okay, let's turn this over. Look at that, eh? How good is that? Front upper arms are next. Once again, turnbuckles on a TAMIYA car. Oh, sorry, on a TAMIYA Hornet. Where are those MB13 ball ends? There they are. One, two, three, four. There we go. They can go in there. So out with the JPRC shock pliers again. Again, these go on relatively easy. I'm looking at the picture down here, so this is the side with the nut on it, and it looks like it goes to, I don't know, 4 or 5 mil from the nut, so I'll just get that in the ballpark. Actually, it's getting a little bit harder to turn. That'll do. And now one on this side. Again, don't worry too much about getting the accuracy on the turnbuckle ones. We'll adjust them later. I could even put it on a setup station. That would be a first. I don't think anyone's ever put a Hornet on a setup station. Wow, this is... Just need to get this a bit further. As long as I'm in the ballpark here. Gee, that's almost dead on. Okay, let's put this one on. If you find this a bit hard, a trick I got shown by a top American racer many years ago is to lube it with, well, chapstick, stuff you use on your lips to stop them cracking and drying. It's really good for lubing these to make them easier to put on. So I recommend giving that a try if you're finding this too hard. I usually cheat and use a drill, but I'm not going to do that in front of all of you people because it's not the right way to do it. So we'll just do this one. Normally on these builds we do the turnbuckles off camera because there's a lot of them and they take a while and it's really boring for you people to watch. I mean, it's boring enough for you to have to watch and listen to me anyway. You could be doing something else. Could be going to the toilet or just anything's better than watching me. Anyway, front end bits, the front C hubs, where are they? That's not them, that's shocks. Is it? These aren't the C hubs, there's the steering arms. But I know I'm going to need them, so now that I've found them, I'll cut them off. Let's find the C hubs. Are they in there? No, no, shocks too. Okay. I'm going to get serious now. I'm going to bring the box over.
Well, I thought I might end that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at these.
It is nerf bars.
Nerf bars.
This, my friends, is a Hornet with independent suspension.
I know.
Front and rear.
And ball race steering.
Ball race steering on a Hornet.
It's just, it's a wonderful, wonderful. Oh. When I came to the Nerf bars, I pointed out how I drew them on this cartoon one.
And kick up.
Yeah. Gull wing arms.
Holy moly.
I thought I was going to have
and
this
shock
done
tower
today.
brace.
Yeah. This is, it's almost serious. It's a wonderful thing.
It's definitely a rear mount, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It's very much rear. It's yeah. Pull good wheelies.
Yeah, the polar moment on this will be interesting. It's way out the back. It's a fine thing.
Because they could never pull wheelies before because they did this weird thing with the back end as it collapsed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sort of like forward and
yeah. Well, that'll be possible on this one. So
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So I was bemoaning the fact that you weren't here when it was time to build shocks, but I'm not actually going to get the shocks done today.
How about I promise to help you out next time?
That's all right.
Oh, you did the turnbuckles.
We did turnbuckles. We did turnbuckles. I'm just going to put the front end together and then I'm going to call it.
Yeah.
We've used some strawberry jam and I told people not to eat it.
Don't eat it.
Don't eat it.
No good in your donut.
You don't eat that and you don't eat yellow snow. Sorry people, you came in anyway. As I just said to Brett, we're not going to, I really thought I'd get a lot further through the build today than this. But it doesn't matter to you because when you're seeing this, it's probably 3 weeks after I did it. So by the time you're seeing this, I will already have run this car. Ha ha ha. Let's put this bit together and see where we go. Just making sure B1, these aren't handed, so that's okay. I don't need to have it right, and the same with the steering arms, they're not handed as well, so that's all good. Now we need one of these suckers, MB11 by 2, yes. This is the first time I've seen. This passes through. So this pin passes through the stub axle, so I'll just keep turning around. That's it. You can see there's a hole in the stub axle, so that has to pass through it. Oh man, this is hard. Yeah, well, that ain't going anywhere in a hurry, as they say in the classic. Now we need a 3x15 machine screw, which I believe will be this one. I'm right 90% of the time with these, but I still check them. And we get ball stud on the end of that. Now, that should have had strawberry jam on it. I didn't bother to put it on. Mainly because I'll probably be pulling this car apart to do various things to it, just to refine it all and make it all wonderful and good before we actually run it. So just keeping the build nice and fresh and keeping it going so you don't have to endure me any longer than necessary. As it is now, I'm at the just a bit over an hour, and that's a bit longer than we like to go. People's attention span isn't always that good, so that's good. We need to build another one of these on the other side, but what I'm going to do is do that off camera, and I'll be attaching these onto here off camera as well, and I'm going to call it there. We've been going for an hour. We've got essentially a relatively complete chassis, so we're not far from having a real running Hornet. So it's pretty cool. I've enjoyed this build. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching it, those of you who hadn't nodded off to sleep while I've been doing it. But for now, this is the TAMIYA Hornet Evo. I'm Tony from Hearns. Thanks for watching.